All right, let's talk about a really big, really complicated emotion, anger. Now, this explainer is drawn from the fantastic work of Ronnie Kaufman, specifically from his Exploring Beyond Divorce course. We're going to use his framework to look at anger as the good, the bad, and the ugly. The goal here is to give you some real practical tools to manage it, especially when life gets turned upside down. So let's just dive right in.
Yeah, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? We've all been there. That feeling when anger just takes over, like a hostile takeover of your brain. It feels so destructive, it feels sudden, and it can feel totally out of your control. This is that ugly side of anger that we all know a little too well.
But hang on a second, what if we've been looking at this all wrong? What if that intense, hot feeling isn't just destructive noise? What if it's actually a signal? You know, like a bright, flashing warning bell trying to tell you that a line has been crossed, or a need isn't being met, or that something in your world is just plain wrong and needs you to pay attention. That's the big idea we're going to dig into today.
So if we're going to get a handle on this powerful emotion, we first have to really understand what it is. I mean, what's actually happening in our bodies and our minds? It's not just a feeling, it's a whole response system. So let's break down the anatomy of anger. Okay, this is so important. The first thing you've got to get is that anger is normal. It is not a character flaw. It's just a built-in human reaction to a perceived threat. And that word, perceived, is key. The threat could be to your physical safety, sure, but it could also be to your pride, your relationships, or your sense of fairness. It's just your internal alarm system going off.
What's so fascinating here is seeing how it all unfolds. It's not just one thing. First, you've got the physical part, that rush of adrenaline. Your heart starts pounding, your muscles get tight. That's your body getting ready for a fight or to run away. Then the cognitive piece kicks in. This is the story you tell yourself about what's happening. This is so unfair, or how dare they, or I don't deserve this. And finally, you get to the behavioral part, what you actually do about it. And that's where we have the most power to choose.
Which leads us perfectly into how most of us tend to react. We usually fall into one of two camps, and as you'll see, these represent the bad and the ugly ways of dealing with that anger signal.
So over on the left, we've got expression. This is the ugly. It's letting it all out. Now, it can be healthy, like a really calm, focused discussion, but let's be honest, it often looks more like yelling, or road rage, or punching a wall. Then on the right, you have suppression, the bad. This is holding it all in, pretending you're not angry, just stuffing it down. This is what leads to that awful feeling of something just eating you up from the inside. Neither one of these extremes is a great place to live.
So, if blowing up is ugly and bottling it up is bad, then what are we supposed to do? What's left? Well, this is where the good part comes in. There's a third path, management. Let's take a look at what this healthier approach is all about.
Now listen, anger management does not mean you're never going to feel angry again. Come on, that's impossible, and it's not even the goal. It's all about finding that healthy middle ground. It means you hear that warning bell go off, you actually acknowledge it and say, okay, I'm angry, and then you make a conscious, deliberate choice about how to respond in a way that actually makes things better, not worse.
And here are 4 super practical tools you can use right away. First up, delay. Seriously, just count to 10. It gives that initial chemical rush a second to fade. Second, relaxation. It sounds simple, but taking a few deep breaths can work wonders. Third, distraction. Go for a walk, do a crossword puzzle, just get your brain focused on something else for a minute. And fourth, and I love this one, incompatible action. Try to be furious while you're petting a dog or genuinely laughing at a comedy. You can't. It's such a brilliant way to break the pattern.
So why is learning to do this so incredibly important? Because how we handle our anger doesn't just affect us in that one moment. It creates a ripple effect, and that ripple touches every single part of our lives and the lives of everyone around us.
I mean, just look at the stakes here. When we don't manage our anger, it creates fear and anxiety in the people we love most, our partners or kids. For us, it traps us in this awful cycle of blowing up, feeling guilty, feeling frustrated, and then blowing up all over again. It can absolutely sabotage your career, it can poison your relationships, and this is a big one, it teaches your kids how they should handle their emotions, for better or for worse. This is why it matters so much.
Okay, so we've broken down the what, the why, and the how. Now it's time to turn that lens inward, because the whole point of this isn't just to learn some facts, it's about figuring out how to apply them to your own life.
So just take a second and really think about this for yourself. What are your specific triggers? What buttons get pushed? Is it feeling disrespected, ignored, powerless? And when that happens, what's your go-to move? Do you tend to explode or do you shut down? Just knowing your own pattern is the absolute first step to changing it.
And finally, let's look forward. You probably already have some ways you cope with anger. What are they? Are they actually working for you? Now think back to those 4 tactics we talked about: delay, relaxation, distraction, and incompatible action. Which one of those could you try? Which one could you commit to trying the next time you feel that warning bell go off? Because choosing to try a new action, even a small one, is how you start to transform anger from something ugly and destructive into a real catalyst for positive change in your life.